Okay, so if you really want the inside track on where luxury fashion is heading, like for the next couple of years, forget the glossy mags for a second. You look straight at the Milan Fashion Week calendar. We're diving into spring-summer 2026 today. It runs September 23rd to the 29th. And honestly, this feels like less of a standard fashion week and maybe more like a major creative reset for Italian style, a real turning point.
It really does, yeah. Our mission here is to cut through all the noise, all the images, and pull out the actual, strategic intel. We're talking the big leadership changes, the new looks, the new vocabularies being created, and what's bubbling underneath culturally. And remember, everything we're talking about, it's all organized, curated by the Camera Nazionale della Moda Italiana, CNM. They're basically the command center for Italian luxury.
Right. And for this particular deep dive, we've got a really authoritative source guiding us. All the research, the analysis, the production. It's been handled by Simona Cochi. She's a digital journalist and producer from The Italian Way. Simona's a total expert in fashion communication, digital storytelling. She curated and read everything for this review. So it's the genuine insider take right from Milan.
Oh, absolutely essential, because the scale we're looking at here is just huge. The calendar packs in over 60 designers. You've got 55 physical runway shows. Those are the big high-stakes moments. Plus, 4 really focused digital presentations. It's that classic Milanese mix, heritage giants having to kind of dance with the really cutting-edge stuff.
So what hits you first about this MFW SS26? It isn't just the collections previewed, it's the whole vibe. It feels incredibly commemorative, historical even. The entire week is overshadowed, really, by the absence of Giorgio Armani. He passed away just last month, September 4th. It's monumental.
It really is. It feels like the end of a massive chapter in fashion history. You hear people talking about his passing not just as losing a designer, but like the end of an entire era. He was that cool, understated Milanese elegance, So him stepping back, it sets this incredibly high emotional tone for everyone else showing.
Yeah, you can feel it. There's a sense of occasion, almost like a duty to pay respect. His final collections for Emporio Armani and the main Giorgio Armani line, they're set for that last weekend, right up to the 29th. And these shows, they're not just selling clothes, are they? They're expecting this huge, almost pilgrimage-like crowd, buyers, press, even just regular people wanting to acknowledge his legacy.
And the city itself is making sure his work gets framed properly. Within Italy's bigger cultural picture, there's a major retrospective opening, Giorgio Armani, Milano, per amore. It's opening at the Pinacoteca de Bera on September 24th. Just think about that for a second. His iconic designs, those jackets, the gowns, displayed right next to Italian Renaissance masterpieces. It really drives home that point the industry often makes. Fashion is culture, it's artifact.
Okay, so looking at the actual schedule, the week is definitely built for momentum. It kicks off Tuesday, September 23rd with the CNMI Fashion Hub opening its doors. And you've got established names like Diesel, Alberta Ferretti getting things started. But the real anchors, the heavy hitters, Fendi's on Wednesday the 24th, Prada hits Thursday the 25th, then Versace on Friday, and Bottega Veneta with a very anticipated debut that's Saturday the 27th.
And it's not just about the catwalks either. Milan's really pushing this focus on excellence behind the scenes, craftsmanship, responsibility. We should definitely spotlight a couple of key non-runway things. There's the CNMI Sustainable Fashion Awards 2025. That's happening Saturday evening, the 27th at La Scala, no less. That's a huge institutional statement, right?
Absolutely. And right at the start of the week, Tuesday the 23rd, you've got the Premio Maestri d'Eccellenza Awards. That's backed by LVMH, CNMI, big players, really hammering home that Italian style isn't just about trends. It's built on incredible hands-on skill. Kind of sets the stage for the whole week as a celebration of how luxury is actually made.
Okay, now let's get into the really juicy stuff, the creative shakeups. Because this, I think, is the core story of MFW's SS26. The biggest buzz, the show everyone's waiting for, Demna from Balenciaga, his debut at Gucci. This is his official SS26 collection launch. And, the pressure is immense.
Totally. And all the chatter leading up to it suggests he's not just, burning it all down. He's aiming for what they're calling a continuum of Gucci's DNA. So we're expecting those iconic codes, right?
Yes.
The Horsebit, the GG logos, the whole equestrian vibe, but smashed together with his, trademark theatrical style and that street edge rebellion.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Trying to blend those two worlds. What we're hearing about key looks really points to that tension. Think maybe oversized wool blazers, perhaps in classic Gucci colors like Castello Green, but then paired with super fluid silk dresses. And apparently some of those silks are upcycled from the archives. Then add these unexpected twists like leather harnesses.
Wow. So it's this huge creative gamble, but they're wrapping it in sustainable luxury language. High drama, though. Rumor is the whole show has this narrative arc, like starting with soft dawn florals and ending in intense midnight drama.
Yeah.
You can practically write the headlines now. Demna's betting that controlled chaos is the new face of luxury.
Right, and if Demna at Gucci is all about that maximum impact theater, then the perfect counterpoint, the antidote maybe, comes from Prada. Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons are unveiling SS26 under this really intriguing tagline, a change of tone.
Mhm.
So where Demna brings the noise, Prada seems to be promising something more poetic, a pivot.
Okay, a change of tone. What does that actually look like for Prada, especially
Yeah.
given their, super intellectual reputation? Are they ditching that?
No, quite the opposite, it seems. It sounds like a doubling down on intellectual minimalism, but maybe with a darker, more romantic edge. We should look out for key shapes like those boxy fit and flare coats. But get this, made in what they're calling patinated wool. So for you listening, patinated basically means the wool's treated to look a bit aged, rich, lived in, gives it this subtle, almost old world feel.
Ah, okay. So that stops the minimalism from feeling too cold or clinical, gives it some depth.
Precisely. And also look for their signature wired seams. These aren't just stitches, they're actual wires inside the fabric. It lets the clothes kind of ripple and hold these sculptural shapes, almost like living things. It gives it this quiet, unexpected punch. People are saying it's maybe 60% pure, tailored minimalism, 40% that kind of wired architectural strangeness. It's subtle disruption, not a shout.
But musical chairs don't end there, right? It feels like a real creative reset across the board in Italy. You've got Louise Trotter making her debut at Bottega Veneta, Simona Cochi showing his first collection for Jill Sander. Both are setting new directions for really influential houses.
Definitely. And then there's Versace. This move is, well, it's generating a lot of talk. Dario Vitale, he's the one who succeeded Donatella, right? For his debut, he's apparently opting for an intimate presentation, not the massive runway show everyone expected. That's not a small decision for Versace.
Whoa, yeah, that's like changing the brand's whole language, isn't it? Versace's the spectacle, the noise, the power. So choosing an intimate presentation, like a smaller showing, maybe in a showroom, it feels like a huge strategic choice. It's like a nod to quiet luxury, or maybe just hitting pause to rethink the whole high glamour thing.
The industry is definitely reading the tea leaves on that one. Oh, and just a quick status check on another major player, Fendi. Silvia Venturini Fendi is currently covering the women's wear creative director role ad interim. That's following Kim Jones's departure. Ad interim just means temporarily, basically. So she's holding down the fort, which is a massive undertaking, especially with Fendi nearing its 100th anniversary.
Okay, so if we pull all this creative energy together, what are the big picture sort of macro trends shaping up for SS26 based on this? It feels like there's this definite tension, these two main currents. First one, nostalgic reimaginings.
Yes, absolutely. You see brands really digging into their archives, but editing them. Gucci's pulling from the 60s, 70s. Fendi is apparently looking at like modern takes on 1920s flapper styles. It's about using memory, but making it feel totally now, not just copying.
And the second big trend seems to be hybrid silhouettes. This sounds like it's leading to what you might call capsule core pieces, like clothes built for actual life, mixing really sharp tailoring. Think that Prada boxy cut with looser oversized shapes, maybe like those Gucci blazers we mentioned. Investment pieces that can kind of do it all, not just look good on a runway.
And woven through all of this, critically, is the sustainability imperative. This isn't just a buzzword anymore, is it? It feels baked into the Italian system now. Eco-materials aren't novelties, they're becoming standard. We're seeing Prada push its recycled nylon, Bottega Veneta innovating with sustainable leather, and lots of younger brands are using things like recycled silk, even textiles made from grapes as leather alternatives. Pretty cool stuff.
But let's be real, there's still a big hurdle, right? Getting consumers to actually pay the premium for the truly sustainable stuff. That's the tricky part. It puts pressure on brands to hit those big carbon neutral goals without pricing themselves out of the market.
Exactly. And you see that tension reflected right on the MFW schedule. Milan isn't hiding this conversation. They've got events like the CSM Meets Sustainability Cocktail on the 26th and the S-Style Denim Lab, supported by Kering, running for 3 days. It shows they're actively trying to push the innovation and the public discussion around materials and how things are made.
And thinking about how all this gets delivered, MFW SS26 is fully embracing that phygital model. That blend of physical and digital. You've got the 55 live shows, but then also 4 really slick digital presentations. It acknowledges you need both now the magic of the runway and the massive reach of digital.
Yeah, and that choice is really about opening things up, democratizing fashion to some extent. The MFW streaming is huge for accessibility. Sure, all the shows are live on the CNMI website, but importantly, they're also showing them on big public LED screens right at the Fashion Hub in Palazzo Giuraconsulti.
That must change the whole feel of the city during the week. It means anyone, students, locals, tourists, can catch a bit of that Prada or Versace energy live, right there.
Totally. And the numbers back it up. The digital side brings in something like 25,000 virtual visitors. It pushes MFW into key global markets, big amplification in China through Tencent Video, in Japan via Asahi Shimbun, this whole hybrid strategy. It feeds into MFW's economic clout, which is estimated at over 50 million in direct impact each season. It's serious business.
And beyond the specific show venues, MFW really uses Milan itself as this incredible backdrop. The source material calls it a palimpsest. You know, like an old manuscript that's been written over, but you can still see the layers underneath. Designers are using spaces that really echo the city's history. From the super minimal Armani Teatro to like old convoted warehouses out in Lambrate, it reinforces Milan's whole identity as constantly reinventing itself.
Right, and it's all very synced up. The cultural events are timed deliberately to coincide with Fashion Week. It boosts the whole profile. You've got major art shows like Leonora Carrington and Man Ray at Palazzo Reale. Plus, there's a big fashion photography exhibition opening midweek, Eternal Elegance, John Paolo Barbieri, capturing that classic Italian glamour.
Okay, so boiling it all down, the key takeaway for you listening in, MFW SS26 is really defined by this necessary tension, wouldn't you say, this creative negotiation. It's about honoring this monumental past. Armani's legacy really looms large while also pushing boldly into the future. You see that with Demna's arrival at Gucci, Prada's quiet evolution.
Yeah, Italian luxury isn't just ripping things up. It seems to be progressing by very carefully editing its traditions into relevant new shapes. The focus feels like it's shifting towards precision, towards sustainability, towards this kind of hybrid thinking and design.
Right, and maybe here's the final thought to chew on as you watch the shows unfold or read the reviews. Given how much focus there is on supporting new, diverse talent, you know, events like Milano Moda Graduate on the 28th or the Aphroditus, Creative Salon Series for Afro-descendant creatives, will this new generation actually define a future for Italian style that's maybe more inclusive, more sustainable than the iconic, often singular era we just saw closing? What part of this newly edited Italian way is going to set the global benchmark next? Interesting times.